We be live!
Proudly not supporting P-files for over a decade, folks. That's not a guarantee that you'll actually get on every channel. Apparently, we now know this. There is at least one skeptical Muslim out there, so-called,
Yes.
that cannot say that. So
Yeah, I wish we could review that video, by the way. And I don't... wait. Oh, wait.
You have the YouTube on.
Yeah.
Sweet.
My Bluetooth just got connected to my headphone. But yeah, I wish we could review that video. I'm scared. I'm scared of reviewing that video on our. Yeah, I'm afraid.
I was scared watching it, in all fairness. Like, it happened way far away from me, multiple states away, and yet I am still watching it, thinking
You're recovering?
like, well, I took some showers for sure. Yeah, hot water and lots of soap to clean all that ick. Yeah, I'm doing better.
I hope we're going. We're talking about Daniel Hairaju's recent debate, everybody. It was terrible. It was absolutely horrible.
Very bad.
Anyways, we have a video that we want to review today, and it's on a channel called Smile to Jannah. Do you know what Smile to Jannah means?
It's heaven, right? Jannah's heaven.
Yeah, Jannah's heaven.
Sweet.
Yeah. So I guess smile all the way to heaven. I think that's what
cool.
it is. I don't know.
He doesn't seem to smile that much in the stuff that I've seen. Like, he seems to be more like angry than he is happy. But maybe I just haven't seen enough. So I just
no, he's happy. He's happy.
Okay.
He's happy. Yeah. Okay, so this is a video titled Mr. Beast brand has gone too far. And it's about trans stuff. It's about Mr. Beast's new friend who's trans. And they're complaining about it, I think. So, I mean, I haven't watched it. So let's watch it together.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, cool.
Let's see.
Guys, and welcome to another...
Wait, let's go.
Assalamu alaikum, guys, and welcome to another episode of... It's one of the odd nights tonight. It could be Laylatul Qadr, and charity should be one.
Okay, let's go to the topic here.
So, Mr. Beast, he is, without a doubt, the biggest YouTuber on the planet. He has a net worth of about $500 million. But it is not Mr. Beast that's in question today. Rather, it is his right-hand man, Chris Tyson. So Chris is somebody who is married and has a child as well. But he has recently come out as bisexual and gender...
What?
That... The woman's legs are blurred out. I saw that.
Oh, yeah, I didn't notice.
I was like, wait, what's going on down there? Oh, they're blurred out.
I didn't even notice. I'm
so
glad
great.
you're here.
That's so great.
I'm glad you're here.
I love it. Oh, what a shame. What a shame it would be if all the devout Muslim brothers out there saw this picture for all of the 2 seconds it was on screen. You know, that would just be terrible.
But what? Okay, but I don't understand. Why is this a limit for them and the hair isn't?
Well, I was wondering that too. Like, I mean, but come on, that would be a lot harder to edit, right? You just have like a little box around her head. That's probably why they didn't. But
is this an admission that the hair is not as arousing as the legs? So there's degrees, because I thought it was all black and white about what's sinful, like hair, legs, everything. You know what I mean?
I know. Now I understand where you're coming from, Armin, but I do really enjoy the floating woman in this picture. you can just barely see a foot in sandals, and like, I don't know.
Wait,
that could be.
You didn't cover the entire thing.
That could be too far. It could be too much. I don't know. I don't know.
Well, here's the thing, though. The problem is that if anyone is aroused by seeing this, right? It's not just the people who are watching it that are sinning. It will be also him that is sinning by making us all aroused, right?
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah. So given his number of views that he gets, that would be a lot of sins. So that's why he has to be extra careful.
Yeah. He really needs to be making sure every Ramadan he is doing everything he can to earn those bonus points, because I heard that's how it works, that you get bonus points for doing good things during, Ramadan. So
Yeah.
just missed that window,
Yeah.
buddy. So sorry about it, but hopefully he
No,
stops
this
it.
was during Ramadan, wasn't it?
Oh.
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh,
I
does that make
lost-
the sins worse if he's doing it? Does it work like
no,
that
during
too?
Ramadan you get more brownie points. I don't think you get also more sins.
Okay.
You might get yeah. I think God might be more forgiving during Ramadan. if I'm correct.
I'm sorry. It's just a silly. It's just a little points game. I just love the thought of God
Yeah,
sitting there with a calculator.
we calculated in school. They explained to us how much more it is. Like they have specific numbers. They have astronomical numbers. Like every brownie point that you get outside of Ramadan and during Ramadan is like, I don't know, weird numbers like 1,027 times 1,027 for each. I don't know. And then plus this, and then they actually write the numbers, and then like this, like imagine, like it's like you're doing 70 years. One prayer during Ramadan is like 70 prayers of continuous praying. Imagine, like, why would you give up on that? That's weird.
Yeah, just that 1 month, and you could just rack up all the points you need for your whole life.
Yeah, no, I don't know. I grew up. I had all these weird, like, for example, they told us that if you dust a mosque, okay, like if you go clean a mosque, yeah, every single dust, like what is it called? Every single
particle,
like not the like dust. What is it? What is
like dust particle?
Yeah, particle.
Like,
dust particle.
The tiniest
would be
little...
one sin removed.
Really?
One sin removed.
Wow.
Yeah. Every single dust particle would be one sin removed.
Holy crap, man. Wow. Huh.
So I don't know. Like I could just go clean mosque and then I'm covered for everything.
Yeah,
like,
you could just be a horrible person and just go clean a mosque during Ramadan twice and you'll be good. Like,
yeah. No, that's cleaning a mosque during ordinary time. Like, imagine if you do it during Ramadan.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That seems like such cheating. Like, that's whatever.
We had this is not official part of Islam, but in Iran we were told also that if you manage to eat a pomegranate, is that how you say it, right? Yeah without letting one of those seeds drop, then you go to heaven.
Really?
Like if you open one and
I mean, they are quite a pain in the ass. So I do understand. I understand that. Like I just imagine. I imagine it was like a mom, like hundreds and hundreds of years ago, and her kid's just like screwing around, ripping this pomegranate open. And she just like slaps him across the head, and she's like, "Don't you know? Don't you know? You could go to heaven. You could go to heaven. What are you doing?" And she's just like, "Oh, thank you. That worked." Like, oh my god, that's so crazy.
Oh yeah, a speck. Oh yeah,
speck of dust. Yeah. No, that's just a stupid cheat code. What a stupid thing for an all-powerful deity to add in there. Like, hey, here's all these rules. Oh, but by the way, if you eat this fruit a particular way, you just get to bypass the line. You go straight into heaven.
Oh my god, yeah. I remember my aunt thinking that, and she was trying so hard with the pomegranate. Also, like, I had serious teachers, like, because if you pray alone and you pray in a group, the rewards for praying in a group is so much higher, right? Like astronomically higher, right? And if you do it during Friday prayers, then again, even more. So like every person that is added to that group just intensifies the rewards that you're getting. So imagine if there's so many people, right? So, and then we have it like it becomes exponentially higher. So and there's apparently a math formula for it. And we had like a serious teacher like using these formulas to show us like how much more rewards would you get if you pray with just only 3 people, and then with 5 people, and then with 100 people, and then with 1,000 people. We were like calculating how much higher the rewards would be. It was so stupid.
That's so very silly. Just like,
Yeah.
what about like messenger groups these days? Does that count, Allah? Like, what if you have
No.
100,000 Muslims in a messenger group? Does that, and you all like pray? That doesn't, like, you send the prayer to the group. Does that count? That's not. You have to physically be
No.
with them.
Yeah, you have to physically. No, pray. Okay, so prayer. But when you say prayer, there's two prayers in Islam. We have like dua, and then we had salat or namaz, right? So when we say prayer, we're not just saying like, "Hey God, I love you." Cool. Okay, bye. We're talking about
Okay.
the ritual that you
Right.
need to do
Okay.
5 times a day. Yeah.
So
yeah.
it's so you
Yeah.
okay. So it doesn't really count the same. Just like the, oh God, do these things.
No, yeah.
That doesn't.
No.
Wow.
That's not
Wow.
salat. That's just dua. That's just like
Wow.
no. Yeah. So
Okay.
there's no word for English. Like it's a ritual prayer. It's not just
Right.
like just talking to God. Yeah.
Right.
Oh, but we just got a super chat. Asian American saying, what? From the bizarre religion. What? And I am? What
Oh,
is it?
yeah. I think he's saying, and I'm from the Bizarro religion. Okay, sure. Like, yeah.
Okay, why do you write like that? You have to like put proper apostrophes and capitalization everywhere. Thank you so much.
But thank you for your super chat.
Yeah. Thank you for the super chat. All right, let me say, can AI pray? No.
Yeah.
No.
Especially,
you have to have a soul. You have to have a soul. Yeah.
Well, that's good to know.
Mm.
Honestly, I'm gonna go get some pomegranates after this is all done, just in case.
I miss eating pomegranates. Now
They're delicious. Honestly, I love them.
Yeah, they're good. Yeah. All right, let's go.
child as well. But he has recently come out as bisexual and gender non-conforming, and for months he has been taking hormone replacement therapy. So some people, they compared pictures of him before and now, and they were saying, what's going on? And that's when he came out and said of him before.
Okay, before and after, and what's going on? Okay.
Yeah.
People panic. Yeah, so people are having a problem with how she's looking, and so
And now, and they were saying, what's going on? And that's when he came out and said, well, I'm trans, mate. So what was interesting here was somebody posted a video of Chris becoming a nightmare for Mr. Beast, and he stood up for his friend, as you should. But then he went on to say that.
Well, let's look at the tweet. So
Yeah.
So there was a video that went viral about Mr. Beast saying that because of his new because his friend, his buddy, is now trans, this is going to be a nightmare for Mr. Beast. And Mr. Beast came on Twitter and said, "Yeah, this is getting absurd. Chris is in my nightmare. He's my shouldn't she be? Is it he or not she? I don't know.
So
he's my effing."
Yeah, I genuinely have no idea. I'm not aware of the situation. Chris may have said he, him pronouns, may have said any pronouns, may have said he, they, may, so honestly, I have no idea.
Okay. So then Mr. B is saying he's my effing friend and things are fine. All this transphobia is starting to piss me off.
I appreciate that.
This is very significant. Yeah. This is good tweet. But here's the thing, this is going to Mr. Beast defending his trans friend is going to have a major impact on the future of trans acceptance.
Oh, I hope so.
We're not talking. Yeah, because Mr. Beast is not like, just a famous YouTuber.
He got 33.2 million views on that tweet, apparently, according to this screenshot we're at, right?
Yeah. Exactly.
33.2 million views on that one tweet. Yeah, hell yeah. Like,
and he's also now has going out, and that's not just like because this response was covered everywhere, and his audience are young. His audience are a younger generation, right? So at a moment where people like kids want to be edgy and be like maybe thinking that transphobic, being transphobic is, some of them think it's cool, it's like showing it up to the system and stuff like that. Having Mr. Beast, which somebody that they look up to, coming out and being so strongly defended his friend, I think has a major impact. This is like bigger. Mr. Beast is like by himself is bigger than multiple
Yeah.
like media
Yeah.
groups combined. So yeah,
This is more
This is-
important, in my opinion, than Bud Light sending some fucking cans to Dylan Mulvaney and then making a weird, vague statement about not trying to be a part of a conversation. Like, this is more important because this is actually somebody standing up in a manner that, you know, truly, I think it's hard to argue that this is just like queer baiting, you know, or just like rainbow marketing, where you just slap a flag on the side of your product for a week and then you just go, yeah, gay people, just because, you know, it's the bare minimum to do as a company. So I don't think this
I don't
can
know.
be. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean they did that for other people too. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't think that was they did
No,
that like that wasn't a big deal. Like I mean that made conservatives look weird as well. Like they do that
Oh, yeah.
like that wasn't like that's like a they do that for different people. Like, hey,
Yeah.
here's your picture on some of our cans
Yeah.
of beer, and all of a sudden when it was some trans person,
Yeah,
people
the
like there were
conservatives
bomb
just
threats.
freaked the fuck out. Yeah,
There were
yeah,
bomb
yeah.
threats.
Yeah, doing all kinds of
I mean,
ridiculous stuff, but
like,
I mean,
it's
you know,
Yeah.
it's something that does happen consistently. We see with brands where they'll just stand up every so often and is like, you know, yeah, gay people, you know, like you Delta Airlines for 1 month paints a rainbow flag on there, you know.
I
their
appreciate
plane.
that though. I know people are like, yeah, they're just doing this because that's where the money is. I'm like, okay, well, good. That shows where the money is. So that's good. It's good. It's good that that's where the money is.
I agree with that. I agree with that.
Yeah.
I appreciate it, but I would prefer that instead of that, you put policies in place, say, in your company to, you know, ensure that LGBTQ people are safe and, you know, in a safe environment in your company.
Well, we could.
right?
Why not both? We could.
Well,
have
yeah,
both.
I that's probably the best option. I agree with you there. That's
Yeah.
probably the best option.
Yeah.
Paint the flag and change your policies to be better.
I mean, people are like, oh, this is just like marketing and the virtue signaling. I'm like, well, it shows that you know we have power, like that we need that you need to submit to,
and you have to market. You have
Yeah.
to market. That's one of the things that was one of the big things back with the civil rights movement back in the 60s in the US. Like that was a huge part of it, is just getting the message out there that, hey, actually, maybe you shouldn't treat black people like this. And then more people went, oh my gosh, I've never thought about that before. Huh. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's probably all right. Maybe good point. So yeah, I mean, again, I see where it's coming from, but yeah, I agree. I think this is a good thing that Mr. Beast has been standing up for their friends. So
yeah, okay, let's continue.
And he stood up for his friend, as you should. But then he went on to say that he's getting tired of the transphobia.
Well, he said
so
it's starting to piss him off. He didn't say he was tired of it, but whatever.
So what's the problem with that? Let's see.
Yeah,
Which is ironic because his very comment is misgendering his friend. He called him a he.
Why is it ironic? Even if he misgendered her, it's an honest mistake. It's not like I don't know what the pronouns she
Let me
prefers.
see if I can.
Good. But like that's not transphobia. If that's an oopsie. Oopsies are not transphobia. Unless you're doing it intentionally to piss someone off. How is it ironic?
Real quick, I just Googled it just to see. Chris says any pronouns. They use any pronouns.
So, okay, so she uses any pronouns. Yeah. So that's not misgendering.
So literally back and forth, Armin right now can say he, Chris, they, Chris, she, Chris, her, his, theirs, all of those, because this individual has apparently stated any pronouns. Any pronouns are fine with me. That's easy.
You know, I really appreciate. Yeah, you know what? The people who go with any pronouns, I appreciate you. Okay, you're making it so easy for people to not misgender. I mean, I don't know. Anybody, whatever you choose, that's fine, right? But that's easy then. So what's ironic about this then? Look,
Yeah.
look what Secular Rarity did on live. You could have done this. You're doing an edited video.
Yeah.
We're doing a live show.
Took 30
and
seconds.
You didn't do. Yeah, you
Yeah,
didn't do 30
literally took-
seconds of research
Again,
before accusing Mr. Beast of being transphobic himself. And he's not
33
transphobic.
33 million views on this tweet. I promise you, folks, in this beautiful world of 2023 that we live, a tweet with 33 million views, you can find out everything you want to know on it on the internet with a very quick Google search. So, yeah, come on, man. Like that's silly. That's silly. Especially this is your opening argument here, Smile to Jenna. Like this is your opening thing. This is the first little point that you're trying to drive the knife in, and you got it so badly wrong.
So bad. Susanna is saying speakers of languages that aren't gendered appreciate you. Yeah, actually, you have no idea how, like, for like people, I know this because Persian doesn't have gendered pronouns and stuff, and you have no idea how many times people get this wrong. Like he, oh no, I mean she, her, him, and especially when there's two people involved in the same sentence and one of them is so people like keep getting confused. So yeah, I mean, more people, no, wait, that might be making fun of pronouns and stuff. But I would appreciate it if English language keeps going in this direction where you don't have pronouns.
Oh, yeah.
Gendered pronouns. Yeah.
The English language is just structured kind of poorly. Like it is worth noting that, it just kind of grabbed a bunch of things from a bunch of other languages and was like, we'll use the French rule on this one, but the Latin one on this one, and it's like, aren't they both French words? And it's like, yeah, screw it. Like, okay. So, but yeah. All right. Any pronouns work for Chris. So this is definitely not
transphobia.
Yeah, not misgendering him.
Not ironic. Not ironic. Yeah.
Of the transphobia, which is ironic because his very comment is misgendering his friend. He called him a he. According to many trans activists, that's misgendering somebody and is regarded as transphobic. So that was.
It's not.
It's not.
Right.
It depends on what the person says their pronouns are.
Right. It's really, honestly, it's really, really super, super difficult. Okay. Let me break it down for you. Watch. First time I ever meet Armin. Okay. First time I ever meet him, I say, hey, what's your name?
Armin.
Oh, okay. That's fucking easy. Oh, never mind. My bad. It wasn't that difficult. You just, first time you ever meet somebody, you just go, hey, what's your name? And then they tell you, and then you go, oh, great. And what pronouns do you use? And then they tell you, and then you just move on. Like, it's really that simple.
I mean, people don't get confused with dogs.
No.
But they because we're like, oh, she's so cute. And like, oh, it's a he. And like, oh, he's so cute. That's it.
Right.
That's it. So they don't get confused with dogs. Why is it so confusing with humans? Right?
And again, like I can. Okay, I'm gonna try to be kind of charitable. Okay, try to get into the mindset here of this guy. He's thinking in his thoughts, oh man, this person is a trans woman, therefore they must want to be referred to with she, her pronouns. Okay. Yes, okay, if that's the route we're going, okay. But it really just is as simple as being like, have you ever had a time where you thought you remembered somebody's name and you walked up to them and you were like, oh my gosh, hey, Terry, it's so good to see you. And they're like, oh, it's actually Carrie with a C. And you just go, oh, fuck, my bad. And then you just move on. It's the same thing. It's the same thing. Because you say, oh, she, her pronouns is what I'm thinking. And then the person responds and just says, oh, no, actually, any pronouns. It works.
So I think they get confused by people because when people get accused of transphobia when they're misgendering somebody or using the wrong pronouns. They think like, oh, so if you always, anytime you get it wrong, then they're going to call you transphobic.
Right.
But no, the transphobia is when you know what someone's intended pronouns are and you're just being a dick about it. You know what I mean? That's
again another clear and easy line in my opinion. You know, it's not transphobic to say, oh,
yeah,
hey Sarah, I'm sorry, you prefer to go by this now. Great, no problem, Sean. Like, that's not transphobic, you know. But again, I maybe that's just too much thought. Maybe that's just like too difficult
too much.
Yeah,
too difficult. Yeah. Go calculate rewards for
yeah,
that's easier.
Count the dust specks. Yeah.
It was a bit of an own goal. There's one thing backing your friend up,
Oh,
but
I hate, look at this.
regarded as transphobic. So that was a bit of an own goal. There's one thing backing your friend up, but there's another thing that's totally disregarding the effect that this is going to have. Yes, this is a grown man and it's their choice, all that sort of stuff. However, what's interesting are his views about kids. As you can see, this tweet regarding lolly or lolly.
Pause it real quick. I'm not saying that this is necessarily a boat that this individual sits in, okay? But I would just like to point out, with the last weekend worth of very well-known Islamist apologists speaking their views, really pointing to what the Quran says, I think it's particularly ironic for him to say, the concerning part is this person's views on children. I just want to point that out.
Yeah.
That's fucking irony, Smile to Jenna. That's what irony is. Like,
yeah, I mean, you're talking. So so people, for people who don't know, Daniel Hayraju, on his recent debate, he was literally defending having sexual relationships, okay, with people as young as 3 or 4.
Basically,
right?
no cutoff.
Yeah, no cutoff. And Islamically,
and claiming that was the Islamic stance. That was the correct stance from Allah found in the Quran. That was his claim.
Yeah. I mean, it's so ironic. Now, this is ironic,
right?
Okay, coming from people that believe in a religion that tells you that you could have, at least on the books, it says that you could have sexual relationship with 9-year-olds, right? And I don't know, it's rich coming from you guys.
And again, like I want to hear what he has to say here. Like, I'm interested to hear what he's gonna say about Lolicon and stuff. Yeah, definitely. But I did, just because he poorly used the word irony earlier in the video, yes. I wanted to bring it up.
Yeah, now we have an actual demonstration of irony.
I didn't think it would come so quickly, but I mean, that's fine. Yeah. I figured we'd have to wait further into the video. But, easy callback. Okay. So.
Okay, so let's watch this.
How about kids? As you can see, this tweet regarding lolly or lolly, however you.
So look, the tweet is from Chris saying, "Nothing gets my nub a cranking like some lolly." Okay, so, and then lolicon is like explained by Wikipedia. Right below it, it says, in Japanese popular culture, lolicon is a genre of fictional media in which younger characters appear in romantic or sexual contexts. The term, what is this? I don't know. Portmanteau of the English words. Okay, the rest is not very important.
Yeah, basically, all it's saying is the word lolicon is created from taking 2 other English words and pulling a piece from each and putting it together. So,
I mean, these are cartoons. These are not real people. Why are we concerned with this?
And again, that's the difference. This is the difference. Yeah. I'm not in the boat of saying, hey, I think what everybody should be doing with their time is spending multiple hours a day specifically watching this type of material. No, not at all. But if the difference is between advocating for allowing this and, again, advocating for what Daniel was advocating for.
Mm.
I just
Yeah.
don't feel like I need to finish the explanation there. Like, is that fair?
Yeah.
Is that fair that
Yeah.
every person in the world just recognizes the difference between these two positions here? Like,
Yeah. So on one side we have people looking at Japanese art that
right.
the girls in it are young, and these are literally not actual people that you could be harming, and that's one side. And the other side we have people with the belief that it should be legal to marry and RAPE children, real humans, child humans. Okay.
Yeah.
So I know, so, but by the way, this tweet is from 2016, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know. So
Good while ago.
it's amazing that Chris being Mr. Beast's friend is not an issue to you guys when he was cis, or apparently when he was cis. But all of a sudden now this becomes a problem when he's trans.
Also,
I don't know how that works.
that
Yeah.
would be what? I mean, at least 5, 6, 7 years ago. How old is
Yeah.
Chris? How old is Chris? If Chris is, let's just say, 25, for instance, then at the time of this post, Chris would have been 16, right? Like, I don't know. I don't know. But yeah, I think that's a really good point. Apparently, this has been out there for, not super a good while, like at least half a decade.
Yeah.
And just now is the point at which you're like, you know what? Maybe we ought to bring this guy down a peg or two,
Yeah, it's interesting how
doesn't make
people's
sense.
problematic behaviors become more problematic all of a sudden.
Yeah.
When they become trans.
Yeah.
When you realize
almost-
that they're trans.
And you know what, Armin? I know this is going to be weird, okay? But like, so pull me back if I go too far. But it's almost like these people that are being critical just hate trans people for being trans. Like, they don't actually have a real problem with the thing that they're highlighting, Like, I don't know, maybe that's, I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, it seems like it has less to do with him being liking Lolly and more to do with him being trans.
Because if he really would have been upset about the stance on the Lolly, he probably would have said something about it before, right?
Yeah.
Probably would have, I mean, I could be wrong. I could be wrong, folks. Please tell me if I'm off base, but yeah.
Oh my god. I guess.
You want to say it? It's to do with eroticism and kids.
It doesn't say kids; it says young girl characters.
Yes, but also, can you? This is bad, I know, folks, but will you rewind that just so we can get that again? Because the way that he says that is like, it's so weird to me, because it just imagine being somebody that is actively like promoting the Catholic Church, and then just being like, and of course, these atheists, these horrible people, it's about sex and kids. Can you believe? While you're promoting an organization that has come out 50 times over as many countries. Like,
it's even worse, though. It's even worse because the Catholic Church says this is bad.
At least
their official position is like, oh my God, sorry, this is bad. We this is bad. We shouldn't be doing this. Okay. And Islam is like, no, we do this to children.
This is part of our doctrine. This is
part of our doctrine.
Yeah.
This is what our prophet did, and we follow his model.
So it's really,
right? So they're not even apologizing for it. They're like, yeah, what's wrong with it? So listen to this, like eroticism and children.
Right.
And like, dude, your religion advocates for literally effing children.
As if he doesn't know full and well. As if he doesn't know full and well. Like, he watched that debate. Like, a bunch of different YouTube Muslims over the weekend have commented on this and said their piece. Like, he's got to at least be kind of aware of the video of Muhammad Hijab standing out at freaking I'm forgetting the name, but you know, in London, where they all get to debate and stuff, and
the Speaker's Corner.
Speaker's Corner, thank you.
Yeah.
You know, he has seen that video of Muhammad Hijab standing there saying like, no, the Quran says you can do this with 5-year-olds. Like freaking Ali Dawa saying, yeah, if my 9-year-old daughter, yeah, I'd let her get married.
I will never get married.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, he knows all of that. So like, that's just so frustrating. It's just,
you know, I'm getting the sense that maybe like all this, like, oh, they're doing this to children, because it's not just conservatives go around and yell always like, oh my God, the children, save the children. And this might have something to do with just distracting everybody that they're the actual threats to children. The conservatives are the main threat to children. And they're just like going around and acting like they're saving the children just to no.
I mean, I don't want to say that you're hitting it completely spot on, and that probably the vast majority of these people that are out there doing, you know, this real big, the trans people are taking our kids, are all like, you know, pedophiles and just constantly doing this stuff. But, you know, we've seen it before. So yeah, I don't know. I think you have a good point, man. I think you have a good point. So.
It's like the satanic panic I was telling you, right? Satanic panic was like, save the children. And they're like, you know, the Catholic Church was doing all those sorts of things, and Christians were going around and trying to save the children from Satanists, right? Yeah. Trans people are just the new Satanists. This is the new moral panic. Yeah,
it's the new group to distract people. Yep.
Yeah, exactly. All right.
Views about kids. As you can see, this tweet regarding lolly or lolly, however you want to say it, it's to do with eroticism and kids, allegedly. Here he is pointing to...
Sorry, I thought I would be able to get through it a second time without laughing, but it just is so in your face how hypocritical this is and like frustrating this is, because you know, not once throughout this whole video is he gonna say anything. Is he gonna be like, look, brothers, sisters, there are some of you out there who have the wrong interpretation of the Quran and Muhammad's life. Please, brothers and sisters, I beg you, listen to me. Let me give you the proper guidance. He's not gonna do that. Like, so to just pretend to be this disgusted and upset is whatever.
Yeah. And Chris is now in another tweet on the screen saying that bitch look good for a 4-year-old. Okay, which is like a joke I don't like. I don't think it's in good taste.
And that's the thing. Again, honestly, I felt that from the first one. That Chris had posted, I was like, this could be a joke. Like, I'm not saying it's in good taste. I'm not saying
I don't like it.
No, I don't either. But this could be a joke. Like,
I mean, it's a joke in bad taste. Okay, it's not as evil as anything these people are up to. You know what I mean? So like, okay, this is like, I could look at this tweet and be like, Chris, that's not a good tweet. That's not a good tweet. Stop. Come on, Chris. Come on. Okay, but that's about it, right? But again, these people have to go dig it out. Again, this was in 2017, okay? And apparently Chris being friends with Mr. Beast was not an issue with these tweets, even though these tweets were out there before. But now that he's trans, because they're like, oh my God, Chris is going to be a problem for Mr. Beast's brand. That's the whole idea. But this was out there since 2017. So again, it seems like it has nothing to do with his views. It's again about him being trans.
That would make, I mean, if that were true, Armin, if that were true, okay, because we don't know. We're trying to take the skeptical approach, people. We're just asking questions, okay? And if what you're saying is true, that would make all of these people with their fake outrage a bunch of assholes, like, right? Like, it would make them just complete and total dickheads, you know? Like,
and transphobes. And
transphobes,
like,
right. Dickhead transphobes.
Yeah, but here's a good comment.
Oh God, this is bad.
You read it. You read it.
Something I don't remember said, people didn't hear it correctly. It was save the children for us. Last two words were kind of low volume. Holy crap. That one got me. That one got me. Oh
That's
my
good.
goodness.
That was a good joke. That's
Oh
good.
my
That's
goodness. Oh my gosh. Whew. Okay.
good.
Okay.
towards the attractiveness of
Yes. Okay. All right, let's
a
go.
4-year-old. And of course, here he is. Then it seems that it's an Instagram story of his allegedly his child is wearing girls' shoes and he's taken a picture and posted it as if this is something to be proud of. Whether he
Pause
I
that.
mean, what
So,
the hell?
yeah,
I've seen
so
so many
I don't
kids
I don't
do
even know. I can't see when this was on Snapchat, so I don't know exactly when this is. I do wonder. I'd like for us to be looking at this throughout the time. I wonder if there's going to be any tweets that he finds problematic that happen within like this year, you know? Like if they're literally all just things that are 2017 and older, like that's going to be so
Yeah.
ridiculous in my opinion. But then I wanted to pause it because of the girl's shoes, right? Especially for a child. Like that's so stupid, people. Like please stop thinking that there's like certain types of fabrics that only people with certain genitals can wear. It just doesn't make sense, you guys. Like who cares? Why are you so concerned? Why are you so concerned about this? What does this matter? Like this baby doesn't give a shit. Like nobody else gives a shit about this. They're just shoes. Like they're not that big of a deal, you know? Like but
Yeah, I mean, hold on, let me show you something. Look at this. You see this?
oh, don't show those shoes
is-
because
No, you want to see this? Is Louis the 16th. Yeah, look at this high heels.
snap.
Yeah,
Oh man.
I mean,
that
I
would
think-
be
yeah.
that would be this right here, this portrait and all the other ones of French nobility and other nobles throughout the world for all of history. I mean, these, if I was somebody who had this view that like masculinity and femininity or like particular clothing was for a particular gender or sex, you know, throughout all of history, you know, this right here would definitely shake my belief in that stupid ideology. But I don't know how other people feel about it. But this would seem to indicate to me that maybe those people are, what did we say? What did we? Dickhead trans folks. Yeah, maybe. Again, maybe. I don't know. I'm not sure. But
Wait, yeah, there's there was another Louis the painting that was very famous. What is it called? Yeah,
is this one the 14th? Is this one the Sun King?
Yeah, what was the one that that showed his legs and
Oh
he had-
yeah, because it was the thing. Like that actually was the thing. They wanted to show off how their legs were like real dainty and
yeah,
and stuff.
it was
Yeah.
seen as very masculine to show off your legs.
Right,
Yeah, like this.
right.
Yeah, this is what people
Yeah,
like
look at
to
that.
show.
Look at that.
Like they would actually they would wear a lot of clothing on top, and then when it gets to the legs, they would just demonstrate how masculine the legs were. Like they would like show it off in tights and high heels, and
Man.
and this was at that time a demonstration of masculinity, right? So look how things have changed.
I mean,
It's all.
oh no,
yeah.
go ahead.
No, I mean it's almost as if like there's nothing in nature that makes like high heels feminine or masculine. It's almost as if like these are just social construct. Almost like that. Yeah.
That we can kind of like change and play with however we want, and really only small-minded people who have nothing else to do with their time other than be assholes to people give that much of a shit. Yeah, it's probably something like that. It's like not like a bunch of men have worn dresses or anything all over the world in various societies and positions of power or anything for, you know, generations. Like, yeah, I like that comment. Yeah. That's exactly, of course that has happened. Of course,
Yeah.
any child running around the house with clothing of any kind is just going to put stuff on and just play with stuff. Like it's not that big of a deal. Like this kid will probably grow up, okay, and have no memory of this event at all until like they're like 15 or 16 and somebody goes, "Oh, hey, there's a Snapchat of you when you're a baby." And then they'll probably look at the picture and be like, "Oh, cool." Like nobody cares that much. But
I mean, I've seen a lot of videos and pictures of little boys trying out their mom's outfits, right? And for a lot of, I mean, until recently, people looked at that and that was cute. They're like, "Oh my god, look at that!" But now, recently, because of this trans panic that is going on, now when the little boy tries that, they were like, "Oh my god, they're grooming the child."
right, it
But,
instantly
like, for
becomes
decades,
that.
for decades, this was cute. For
Right.
decades, even conservative people, they were like, "Oh my god, that's so cute."
Mhm.
But now they've been it's actually the conservatives that have been brainwashed to like, no, now it's time to panic because it needs to fit within this grooming ideology.
Yep.
You know, I swear 20 years ago, if even conservatives, if they saw this, they were like, "Oh my god, how adorable." But
That's
now
so
they're
cute.
trained to like yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
It's silly, honestly. It just is, and it's just them. Like we were talking like before. Like it's just people that are actively looking for every single instance for them to be upset. Some trans woman recently competed in a marathon and placed like 6,000 out of 10K or whatever. You know, just a completely normal position for any person to take, and a bunch of people were freaking out about, you know, "Oh, men are taking over women's spaces because they let this trans woman compete." And it's like, oh, okay. But like nothing
So
happened.
we got a super chat. Hold on.
Woo.
From the Asian American saying, "Look up Roosevelt wearing a dress."
Oh, yeah,
Okay.
yeah. That was super common practice in the United States. Yeah. That's Franklin D. Roosevelt. That's our male cis het president, FDR, who as a child was dressed like that because that was the norm in the culture. For like up until babies were like 4, you just didn't dress them differently. Every baby wore the same freaking thing. Like every baby wore stuff like that. Nobody cared. It wasn't until like decades later when a couple of different organizations got together and were just like, mostly like toy companies and stuff, you know, and we're just like, "No, girls stuff is pink and dresses and frills, and boys stuff is blue and you know, pants and trucks." And it was like, okay. But yeah,
So,
like that was like 60, 70 years ago, you guys. Like that's not that long. Like,
so I asked ChatGPT to summarize the article, and ChatGPT is saying the article discusses the gender norms in children's clothing and how it has changed over time. It highlights a photo of young Franklin D. Roosevelt wearing a dress and explains how white dresses were the norm for young children until age 6 or 7 when they had their first haircut. The article also notes that the color pink was once considered masculine and blue was feminine. The article concludes by reminding readers to be open-minded and not be blinded by idealistic ways.
don't be a dickhead transphobe.
Don't be a don't be a dickhead in general.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Don't be either of those things, much less together. Like
Together, yeah.
Right.
But you know, I like what he's suggesting. It's funny how what he's suggesting here, like. He just said that Chris posted this as if this is something to be proud of, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, here's the thing, Mr. Smile to Jenna. As a parent, you would be generally proud of
what your child
most
does.
moments.
Right.
Yeah, your child.
Right.
Like, your child could be drinking water, and you could be like, "Oh my god, look at my kid! Look at my
using both
adorable
hands."
Yeah. So. It's funny to me that you're saying this is as if you should be proud of it, because to me suggests that you are saying that this is something to be ashamed of. So this is not something, this is more telling on you, because like, what would be the opposite? So you are somebody that if you see your kid like that, a normal parent is by default proud of their child most of the time. Okay. But you are not a normal parent. You are a religious nut job and a transphobe, and you see this and you think this is shameful. So you're a disgusting, toxic parent for your child.
Yeah. Probably somebody
You're the one
who would be particularly, dismissive and demeaning towards an individual who is just trying to grow and explore their boundaries, just like all of us did. Like, shaming them repeatedly and telling them that they're not doing, man or woman right. They're not doing personhood correctly. If only you would do better. Like, yeah. So, again, we don't know for sure on that. We're just asking questions. We're just, we can't say for sure that he is a toxic piece of shit. But pretty sure.
But I would bet.
I got $5 right here. I'm putting down on that.
Picture and posted it as if this is something to be proud of. Whether he's influencing it or not, what can be said? But what's also interesting is here you can see him at the Nickelodeon Choice Awards. So Nickelodeon is a channel for kids, mate. You can see him with Mr.
Oh my God, not the kids.
Beast. So one cannot deny the influence that they have on kids. I've been a primary school teacher, and I know.
But that was it. That was like, oh my God, it's a Nickel. Like, dude, they're Nickelodeon. That's for kids. That's it. Like, that was it. That was like the wording.
I hope he says something more about it, right? Like, that's just. I don't want to like give him ammo or anything, but like, for fuck's sake, man, that's.
Wait, hold on. Let's see if it gets any.
Kids know who Mr. Beast is, and they love him. In fact, he's been non-divisive in the sense that he's apolitical.
That was it. The whole thing, the Nickelodeon. Is that how you say it? That cartoon thing?
Nickelodeon.
That's it. Like Nickelodeon. Like, this was the entire thing. Like, oh my God, this guy is trans. Oh my God, this guy has a picture of his son with high heels, and also
he's on Nickelodeon.
That's it.
Yeah.
So
super weird,
guys. You have to understand where we're heading. Every time a trans person is next to something that is associated with kids, these people are going to panic. Right?
Yes.
So trans people have to stay away from kindergartens, from like, if you're a trans celebrity, you should like avoid going to children-related programs. Like,
you shouldn't go out. You shouldn't even go out in public because what if there's a 5-year-old that just happens to be walking through with their mother?
I swear this is what's going to happen. They're going to go with camera hunting, like just randomly a trans person walking next to a child. They're going to snapshot them, like, oh my God, save the children. I mean, this is what we're seeing here right now. They're like, this is a trans person and this is Nickelodeon, and that's something we apparently
they just happen to be out in public being themselves. Not saying anything, not advocating for any position, just literally existing. And that is a step too far in many, many people's eyes. And so while they don't use the words specifically, many of these people, their goal is undeniably to exterminate trans people. They don't want trans people in public life. YouTube, just as a quick reminder, that's not us saying that. That's pointing out the bigotry of these individuals that you still let spout this shit on your platform. So we're fighting that.
Yes.
But
we're
again, this is technically on your platform. It's whatever.
So Gage American just gave us a $5 super chat saying medieval Chinese men were forbidden to cut their hair because it belonged to our parents. Oh, I didn't know that. Yeah. Wait, what? Why did that belong to our parents? Super I don't know if that's a win for gender expression or what?
I think it
hierarchies.
I think it is, at least in some senses. I mean, I often use a practice that is found throughout the Middle East, which is grown adult men holding hands with each other as signs of friendship. I often use that in my conversations with the toxically masculine, super hardcore Southerners that I get to hang around with. They're like, man, that shit's gay. Like, I ain't gonna do that. That's just weird, man. A grown man wouldn't do that. And I'm like, oh, there's literally billions of people that do it on a regular daily basis. And they're like, well, maybe, but that don't mean anything. And it's like, it means it's probably a cultural, historical thing, and it's probably not as set in stone as you want to pretend. But whatever. Yeah. Oh yeah, that's a good point, Tim. Yeah.
Yeah, Tim saying, look at all these people existing. Think of the children.
Where's my pearls to clutch? Where's my pearls?
Susanna is saying, let's promote male hand holding.
I'm actually okay with that.
It's super cute.
Yeah. And there is unfortunately, there's a lot of men out there who are deprived of just general human to human contact. Like, as a man, you'd be surprised, but you don't get as many like hugs or just like gentle pats on the back as many women do. So, men are oppressed. See, there you go. I'm just kidding. I'm sorry.
Emotionally, I mean, they are. Anyways, let's go.
So Nickelodeon
Let's see what else.
is a channel for kids, mate. You can see him with Mr. Beast. So one cannot deny the influence that they have on kids. I've been a primary school teacher, and I know kids know who Mr. Beast is, and they love him. In fact, he's been non-divided.
I'm actually now worried for the children. The fact that you're a primary school teacher. Yeah.
I hope he's not still a primary school teacher. Like,
yeah. The whole idea of save the children, that does apply to you, sir. The fact that, I mean, he knows, like, he is aware of little kids being aware of Mr. Beast. So with this knowledge of Mr. Beast and his friend now, what would he be telling children? So I am actually concerned. Like, if you want to be concerned about children, you should be concerned about somebody like this guy. This guy's influence on children and what he's going to tell them.
Right.
That's
divisive in the sense that he's apolitical, very entertaining, and very kid-friendly, frankly. And it's because of that he has been doing well. However, now when it comes to his friend, I do understand people saying that, look, if he totally disregarded his friend, he would have been called a transphobe. If he accepts his friend, then again, that's an issue as well. Because
so it's interesting because they're suggesting that he's not defending his friend because he is his friend and he actually cares about him.
Right.
No, he must be stuck in this like situation and like, oh my god, obviously this person is trans and this is horrible for my brand, and also think of the children. But what can I do? I don't want to become a transphobe because so I have to go pretend that I actually care about the guy.
That's the worst. That's the worst outcome, right? Is being labeled as a transphobe, not advocating for genocide. Okay, right?
Yeah.
You see how this guy's mind is? He's so focused on that he's like, oh man, obviously the only reason Mr. Beast is supporting Chris is because he doesn't want to be called this word.
There can't be any other reason. I mean,
not because
why would anybody defend us?
Deep core belief that, I don't know, we shouldn't kill people just because of their fucking gender. Like,
well, I mean, come on. The guy is trans. Obviously, he doesn't want to defend him. He must be just like pretending. Like, who would defend Chris? He's trans.
Makes so much sense. Honestly, it's all finally making sense now.
Yeah.
I mean, because that's my biggest fear too. When I wake up in the morning, I'm so deeply concerned that I might say something, that somebody just labels me as transphobic. And that's why I'm not concerned about advocating for literally exterminating a group of people like this person is. Again, all jokes, YouTube. Of course, I don't give a shit about somebody saying, well, that comment you made was transphobic. Because again, it's a really easy thing. It's just like misgendering somebody. If you genuinely give a shit, somebody points that out to you and you just go, oh man, that wasn't my intention. Really apologize. Let me move on and clarify. Like, it's that easy.
Yeah.
Kind of hard to do that. I mean, when you advocate for RAPing children or literally killing people in the streets just for their gender expression, kind of hard to do that.
I mean, if somebody tells me like, oh, what you just said was sexist, okay? Don't be so defensive about it. Sexist or transphobic or homophobic. You were like, oh, okay.
I made a mistake.
yeah, that wasn't. I mean, maybe you didn't make a mistake. Maybe the other person is wrong. But
Yeah.
like, you could be like, well, that was not my intention. I'm not trying to be transphobic. Well,
Absolutely.
let me see. Like, yeah. So that's
Yeah.
it. Don't take it so personally.
Yeah.
Okay. See
It's not
what's going
gonna.
on.
Yeah, the sun's still
Yeah.
gonna rise tomorrow. My toilet's still gonna work. Everything's gonna be just fine, guys. If you
Mm.
are transphobic, though, then I could
Yeah.
understand. Like, if you are like
Why?
racist or transphobic, I could
Yes.
understand you not
Yes.
being super comfortable with people calling you out on that, because it's like,
Yeah,
hey,
yeah.
man, you're a dick, and then your only
Yeah.
response is like, no, I'm not. I just hate black people, and it's like, no.
Oh my God! Don't say that on
I'm
YouTube.
sorry,
My God,
YouTube.
we're gonna
I'm
get
sorry. I'm sorry.
Wait, this is. Oh my God, YouTube!
Don't
This is not
strike
our
us.
opinions.
Don't
We're
strike
just
us.
trying to. We're
I'm
making
making an
fun of
example.
racist people.
Right.
Yes,
Again, the people
yes.
that you technically still platform YouTube, so whatever. We're not going to get into all that.
Yeah.
but- I'm sorry, Susanna.
Yeah.
I see her saying red alert in the chat.
Yeah. Wait, it's
I'm so
mentioning on
sorry.
stream minutes.
Normally you're the one that's saying the
Yeah.
things. I don't know. I'm hot today, I guess. Sorry.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, actually, that's a very good point, though. People have to understand that non-racist people say racist things.
Mhm.
But that's the point. Because they're not racist, they weren't trying to say racist things.
Right.
They just made a mistake. So when you tell them that this was actually racist, because they know that they are not racist, they would just be like, okay, they would try to figure out how what they said was racist.
Yeah.
They're
And
not into, yeah.
If you genuinely care about that, right? Not being called a racist, but just actually being racist or not. If you care about that, when somebody makes that accusation, do we leave that? Yeah, no, it's still the case. But no, I mean,
Yeah.
if you actually care, then when somebody says to you, "Hey, what you just said was homophobic," right?
Yeah.
It's not that hard. It's not that difficult of a process. It's just like when
Yeah.
you accidentally drop something while handing it to a friend. Like, I didn't
Yeah,
mean
yeah.
to drop this, but it happened. I'm so sorry, man. And then
Yeah.
it's like, oh no, it's really not that big of a deal. Now we know, and we can all move on and be fine. So
Yeah. Okay, let's go.
Because, we all know Harry Potter, Daniel Radcliffe. Here he is with kids. Well,
Where is he
pretty
going
much he's saying people should just take what you say.
There are also people who do have like a slightly condescending but well-meaning attitude of like, well, people are young and like, how do we, there is a huge decision. I'd love to hear from all of you about like why we can trust kids to like tell us who they are.
I'm only 11 years old. How
But people don't take what kids say when it.
Wait, what did he say that was wrong? This is like, oh my God, this is.
This-
People know Harry Potter, and kids are aware of Harry Potter, and Daniel Radcliffe, the actor of Harry Potter, is saying things that kids are going to hear. And then he just says something that is not toxic or dangerous at all.
it honestly
He's just
sounds
having-
like Daniel, and it looks like this was done for the Trevor Project, which is specifically an LGBTQ organization. But it almost sounds like Daniel is trying to get at a point that I was going to bring up earlier and then just didn't because we were laughing about some other stuff. But like, a lot of times people want to ascribe ignorance to children, especially about things that are about themselves. Like, a 7-year-old child knows whether or not they fucking like airplanes. Like, if you hand dinosaurs to a 6-year-old and they don't care about dinosaurs, you don't have to influence them. They know, just like we all do. Just like when I wake up in the morning and I go eat something for breakfast, I go, oh, these are the types of things I like for breakfast. These are the types of things I don't like. Like, it doesn't take that much thought. And while kids may not have the decades of experience that adults do and so forth, like, they do know what they're feeling. They're not just fucking idiots. Like, and
I mean, let's say even if they didn't, even if they need some guidance, even if they need to be checks and balances before you, I don't know, do something drastic, okay? But even if that's the case, Daniel is not saying anything here that is like he's just having a conversation. He's just like, okay, but like, I mean, listen to it again. He's like, okay, like,
it's a very
trying to
reasonable
discover-
statement. Yes.
Yeah, he's just trying to discover something. He's asking questions. Like,
Kids. Well, pretty much he's saying people should just take what you say.
There are also people who do have like a slightly condescending but well-meaning attitude of like, well, people are young and like, how do we, it is a huge decision. I'd love to hear from all of you about like why we can trust kids to like tell us who they are.
So I genuinely believe Smile to Jenna just is just factually incorrect. What he said in terms of what Daniel Radcliffe was saying right there is just not at all what he played in that clip. There may be more to this video where he says that exact thing, but what Smile to Jenna just said, that Daniel's position was, is not at all what Daniel said. And it's just dishonest.
Let's see how he frames it.
I'm only 11 years old.
And again, this is about letting kids tell us who they are,
Right.
okay? Not necessarily about now going, I mean, if I know there are examples of some people taking this too far, okay? And making decisions for kids, rare examples, okay? That is like, you need to wait until they grow up, okay?
Yeah.
But we're not talking about surgeries. We're not talking about giving them HRT. We're talking about them just like saying like, oh, this is who I am. And like, okay. Like, I mean, if a kid comes and says like, I don't know, I'm an astronaut, you're not going to be like, listen, Billy, no, you're not. Do you like, no, you're not an astronaut.
You'd have to be a massive asshole, right? You'd have to be.
You're not going to be like, do you understand that you actually need to go through these processes and get a degree and then go to NASA? And this is like you're not going to be like, you're not going to crush them by like, no, you're not an astronaut. Like, right. what, then why are you, if you're not going to do that to that kid, then why are, if a boy comes and says like, hey, I'm a girl. Okay. Right. Be a girl.
And why?
What's going to happen?
On the flip side, because I feel like A, that, and then B, this, which is, it's almost as if some of these people think that every decision that a 5-year-old makes has to now be permanent for the rest of their lives. Like what an asshole you would be if your kid came up to you and said, I want to be an astronaut when I grow up. And then at the age of 7, it's like, no, honestly, I'm actually going to go into auto maintenance. And you're like, no, no, you motherfucker, you said you're going to be like there are thousands and thousands and thousands of stories, okay, of children who have come to parents that are supportive and wanting to be there for their child, where the child has said, hey, I think this, I think that, I want to explore a little. And the parent gives them space to do that. And then the child says, okay, I found my boundary and it's not actually there. It's actually over here. That happens every freaking day. So it's not like it's not like if your 11-year-old comes up to you tomorrow and says, hey, I think I might be gender non-conforming. It's not like once you just say that, some magic spell occurs where just for the rest of your life, like you have to stay in that box. Like, no,
right.
No. Like 2 years could go by and you could be like, hey, no, actually I am a man. Like, hey, no, actually I am trans. Like, I'm actually this, I'm actually that. Like, it's fine.
Well, let me say something. Okay. I know there are examples of some people who have pushed this too far. Okay?
Sure.
And I know people in my personal life that they were pushed too far. Okay. And they might have made decisions based on people who were that they would have regretted in the future. Okay.
Sure.
And those examples do exist, but this is not what we're seeing here with Daniel, right?
Right.
So yeah, I'm sure there's a kid somewhere that said like, oh, like I want to try lipstick and dresses, and then the parent went too far. We're like, okay,
sure,
my kid is trans, and I'm committed to this, and I'm going to make sure that they become a woman as they grow up. Okay, or like, no, chill the F out. Okay, right. You have no idea if your kid is just having fun or this is actual gender dysphoria, but they're they have jumped on this whole trans thing so much that they're now wanting to just like dictate no, you are a woman now, okay? There's no going back on this, okay? There are examples of crazy people everywhere. So, but the thing is that because there's crazy people everywhere, these conservatives will jump on those examples and trying to dismiss
Everything. Right.
everything, and also demonize just kids having fun, right?
Yeah.
But again, this example of what we saw Daniel talking here to these kids about kids are like, oh, we want to treat you the way you want to be treated. We want to address you. We want to accept who you think you are.
Yeah.
And that is not one of these radical. The fact that those radical examples exist and they paint everybody with the same brush is demonstrated right here in this video, because what the example that we're seeing here is not that. And how short of real examples of those radicals are out there that this is what they highlight. Because if those were common, that's what they would show us.
Yeah. This is honestly a very, very bad example for Smile to Jenna to be using, because I don't know, man. Armin, in the next 30 seconds, shit might hit the fan, okay? But currently, everything we have seen is very reasonable. It's very so.
If one of these kids were like, you know what, I was just having fun. I don't think I'm actually a woman. I'm actually comfortable with being a boy. And if Daniel jumps up and like, no backsies, okay? You have to accept your real identity. You are a girl. Repeat with me after me. I'm a girl. Say it. I am a girl. Unless that happens, then I don't know what he's talking about.
I'm not a prophet, Armin. I'm not a prophet.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna make a prediction that doesn't happen. Yeah. I don't know. We could see. Who knows?
Yeah.
But people don't take what kids say when it comes to politics. Their opinion is not valued enough when it comes to the running of this country. When it
So he didn't even let that child like respond or anything. He was just like, "No, you're done. You're done, kid. No one gives a shit about you anyway." So wow, man.
Yeah. I mean, like, why is it comparing it to politics? What the hell? What are you on about? Okay.
Yeah.
So imagine if I went to my kid and I'm like, "Hey, which toy do you want? Do you want this car or do you want this doll?" Okay. And the kid says like, "Oh, I want a doll. I want the doll. Let's get the doll." I'm like, "No, we don't take your opinion seriously if we're talking about politics. So given that we don't take your opinion seriously there, I'm going to make this decision for you. You are a boy. I'm getting you a car." What? What are you on about?
I honestly,
like, obviously.
I thought what you were gonna say was, imagine walking up to a child and being like, "Hey, do you want a toy truck or a doll?" And then right after them choosing, being like, "Hey, so what do you think about the Republicans' new fiscal policy for the quarter?"
Yeah.
Do you think it'll actually raise the revenue that they're thinking it will, or do you think ultimately?
Oh my god. It's
just so stupid.
It goes back so stupid. Yeah, it's like, I'm an astronaut. No, Billy, given your lack of understanding of politics and philosophy, we're not going to allow you to identify as an astronaut. What are you talking about? Oh my god.
Oh my god, I'm crying. I've just been laughing. Oh my gosh. Oh my god. It's so stupid. It's just like, and the ridiculous part is the fact that I know the amount of effort that had to have gone into this video. So there had to be a point in time where not only had he written it out, yes, I'm not losing it. I'm losing it. But there was a point in time where this guy wrote this script out, recorded it, and was reviewing this recording. And he heard that point. He heard him saying, "Why would we listen to kids about the things they do and don't like, or who they are as an individual? We don't pay attention to who they want to vote for president." Like, He had to hear himself say that and then go,
Yeah.
that's good. That's how I want that point.
Oh my god.
It's just crazy. Oh, it's just so silly. Like,
Yeah.
oh my god. Yeah, we don't take kids' points seriously when it comes to finances. So we clearly can just dismiss them in every other aspect of life. Yeah, cool. Sweet. Makes
Yeah.
total sense. Like, what's
how
that
it
little
goes.
Billy? You say you're allergic to bees? Well, you don't know shit about politics.
Oh
Oh my god. Oh,
okay.
just so everybody knows, just so everybody knows, before we went live tonight, Armin was like, "Hey man, do you think this is gonna be fun? Like, do you think you're gonna enjoy doing this?"
Yes.
I think so.
Okay.
Oh
let's
my
go.
gosh.
When it comes to driving, they're not allowed. When
Oh
it comes to many other things, they are simply not deemed competent. In fact,
I wish you would have just gone on a list. Like, we don't take kids' opinions when it comes to driving, when it comes to politics, when it comes to, Roth IRAs, when it comes to airplane maintenance, when it comes to like food.
Food safety.
It's so stupid. It's just so dumb. Like,
You know what? You know what? I'm going to use this every time. I wish I had a kid. I wish I was around kids so I could tell them to shut up every time they have their opinion. They're like, you don't know shit. I'm like, do you understand politics? Do you have any good arguments about driving? About food safety? No, I did not think so. Just shut up. Keep your opinions to yourself.
Daddy, can we go to Burger King? Oh, clearly you don't understand about sustainable food sourcing, child.
Oh my god.
Oh, he genuinely feels good. He thinks this is a good argument. He thinks this is good. Like, this is the reason to just dismiss everything a child says. It's because we don't ever ask them their thoughts on politics. Like,
Yeah, I mean, like, when you take a kid to a doctor, the doctor asks, like, hey, where does it hurt, right? We don't like, hey, this kid doesn't understand, like, medicine. Why are you asking the kid, Anyway, it's just weird. It's weird. Oh, Newman is saying, send me the blasphemy art to use in War Master. Okay, I will. Thank you. I will do that. Okay, let's go.
irony is kids cannot even pick their own curfews and their own bedtime.
God.
How on earth are you allowing them now to pick their genders? And now,
oh my god, just keep going the same. It's the same argument over and over.
I know
again.
he doesn't. I know he doesn't realize this. He must not. Okay, but inherent in the definition of the word curfew is that it is imposed on you by a third party. So clearly, a child cannot determine their own curfew because it wouldn't be considered a curfew at that point.
Yeah, you're right.
Like, when I go to bed later tonight, that's not a curfew. It's just me going to bed. Like,
right.
Oh my god. Oh jeez.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
It's what he doesn't understand. It's about the consequences, right? So if your kid, for example, stays up until 2 a.m.,
Right.
okay, that would or if your kid decides to eat sugary foods all the time, right? That would be problematic to your kid's health. So kids you allow your kid to make certain choices in their lives, right, until it hits a wall where they're making decisions that they don't understand. It's harmful to them. For example, not doing their homework, going to sleep late,
Running
eating
out in the
bad
street.
food. Right. Yes. But when it comes to things that are not harmful, then you restricting them is limiting their ability to be free, is limiting their ability to express themselves, is limiting their ability to grow, is limiting their ability to imagine, is limiting their ability to be creative. So if a kid goes and says like, I'm an astronaut, you don't want to shut that down. That's their imagination working. That's their creativity working. In the same way, if they say like, I want to act like a girl, or I'm a girl now, okay, there is nothing that is no harm in that. Just let them be a girl for that day, for that week, for that month.
Right.
There's no comparing these two with each other is because you assume negative consequences. So you're comparing a curfew or eating bad food or not doing your homework with your boy coming out saying, I'm a girl now. The reason why you think these are equivalent is because you're associating harm with one of them, just like the other one. But that one of these things are not like the other one, right? Not like the others. Yeah, the other ones have harm associated with them. One of them doesn't. So you shouldn't, as a good parent, you don't want to restrict your kids too much. You want to allow them to experiment and have fun and experience life without too many limitations, and only put the limitations when you can actually detect real harm.
Right.
Yeah.
Because by putting those limitations on your child, in the other sense, in the other side of that spectrum, all you are doing is harming them, because you're teaching your child,
Exactly.
don't do this particular thing because it's bad. And that's it. And that's like the end of the discussion. Imagine if that's how we felt with children who were like, I want to eat more vegetables. Like, that would just be ridiculous. You would, if a child said to you, I want to try spinach, Dad. Imagine somebody being like, well, we can't let them make their own decisions. Like, it just doesn't.
Yeah. I mean, putting FDR in dress, I don't think that was harmful to him.
No,
I don't think that harmed him.
No, the polio was worse. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So I don't, I don't think that was harmful. I don't think that was harmful. So given that you seem incapable of detecting harm to children, like you think a kid wearing high heels, a boy wearing high heels is harmful, is dangerous, right?
Right.
I think actually the kid is a better judge of harm than you are. Like, so you're like, oh, we can't trust the kids, we should trust you. I mean, you are failing at detecting harm. So I'd rather ask the kids than you. Yeah.
Right.
Anyways.
Those people that were saying it's a conspiracy, why do you keep bringing kids into it? Why do you keep bringing kids into it? The conversation is now being directed towards kids. Because
why do you keep the guy has a kid? What do you mean? Why do you bring the kids to it? The guy has a child.
He has a fucking child.
What?
Right.
Like,
but also,
like
imagine taking that stance, Armin, when you have a book that has been around for all of eternity before the creation of the earth that literally advocates, like, just, again, it's like, maybe this is why I'm hot, is because it's just like, oh my God, that's so frustrating. You're telling me I'm bringing children into this conversation. Children have been in this conversation from the beginning because of your scripture, because of your holy book and prophet. Like, that's why it's a part of this conversation. I didn't say anything about slaves until you started saying, let's go enslave people. And I'm like, that's a horrible idea. Let's not do that. And then you're trying to justify it to me. So,
I mean, it's the idea of you bringing kids into it is so transphobic, because then I could say every time you invite a child to a wedding,
you're pushing your agenda
between a man and a woman.
Yeah,
I'm like, wait, why are you showing kids that men and women can get married?
Yeah,
a man
definitely,
because wouldn't that be you bringing kids into into your cis agenda, into your what is it? Like, what is it? What is the opposite of? Wow, I forgot. Oh yeah, straight to your straight and cis agenda. I could accuse all straight people of showing kids that men and women fall in love and get married or become couples. And
every
like,
Disney
why
princess.
are you? And then if you were like, why am I bringing kids to it? I'm like, no, you brought kids to this first. Like we have so many cartoons, so many children books that is constantly about prince and princesses falling in love, about boys and girls being couples. Would that be you bringing kids into sexual relationships? And if that is not bringing kids into sexual relationship, then why the other? I mean, you literally just showed us Chris just showing up at Nickelodeon. Like that was it. That he didn't do anything. He was just there, and that was like apparently a point for you. So do them talking about kids or making any shows or any programs so should trans and gay people avoid talking about making programs, making content for kids entirely as a whole? Because if they just talk about kids, is them grooming kids or bringing kids into this topic? Like it's just a double standard. Because if you want it to be consistent, then just straight people and cis people should also not do that at all. We should just we should just put all kids away in an island somewhere, and we just should
just not talk to kids about anything related to like anything with the world, because I mean they don't know anything about politics anyway. So like, what does it matter?
Yeah,
you know? Like,
I mean, yeah, this is where we're heading. We're heading into a direction where just gay people and trans people, if they have kids, if they mention kids, if they make content for kids, all of a sudden it's like, oh my god, what's happening here? A trans person is writing a book and is meant for children. Oh my god, like what?
Like the mere, again, honestly, and maybe it's just because they do believe in magic spells and stuff, you know, but like it's almost as if they think just like somebody saying the word like trans will just like start like turning people or something, or like a child just hears once that, hey, sometimes men and women love each other, sometimes men and men love each other, sometimes women and women love each other, all of them happen and it's okay. That somehow that hearing that alone is just going to turn the child, like they're just instantly going to be like, you know what, as a female, I'm really attracted to men, but I think I'm just going to put all that stuff aside since I heard about this new stuff. Like, what was that you were saying? Like, maybe I'll just put all my sexual attraction aside. And like, me personally, I like women. I do. But now that I found out about this whole you can be gay thing, I don't know. It's up in the air. I suddenly am completely confused about what type of pictures make me excited. Like,
do you want me to show you content that was made for children and shock you?
I don't know if my heart can handle it, Armin. Okay, let's do it.
Some really, really disgusting stuff. Okay.
All right.
This was intended for children. Okay. Look at this.
Oh my gosh. This is just these groomers. I am just tired of this, Armin. You know, they are destroying the nuclear family and family values. Our whole society is gonna. Oh no! Wait a second. Oh no! Wait a second. Oh no! This is this is actually like a really common thing throughout like childhood. You know what? Never mind. Never mind. Yeah.
But imagine if first of all, I actually have a problem with this. Okay?
Oh yeah, it's it's super creepy.
This is not consensual.
No, it's very no. There's right, and that's the other thing. It's like oh, again, first off, you're saying this thing that is so nonsensical to begin with about like oh, just showing a trans person is just grooming, but then like the actual stuff that you're advocating for is actually bad. Like this is gross.
Yeah,
this is not okay. Yeah. Like this is not fine, people. If you ever just throwing this out there to anybody who wasn't sure, if you ever just come across some lady or some man, just any human being that's just unconscious in a bed, just hanging out with like 7 dwarves, don't just make out with them. Don't just do that. That's not okay.
Yeah. By the way, for people who are just listening, we're looking at the scene for Snow White where the prince comes and kisses her, right? And you know, this scene actually frustrates me every time I see it, because this guy had no idea that this is going to save her. At least in Sleeping Beauty, the prince was aware that if you, I need
Yes.
to kiss this girl
Yes.
to save the entire kingdom. This
Right.
guy just showed,
He just
like,
did it.
had no idea that this was
Uh-huh.
that Snow White was cursed,
Uh-huh.
that she is sleeping and she needs to wake up. She just like saw a woman sleeping and like, oh my god, here's my chance.
I'll just
Right?
get one real quick. Yeah. Yeah. Like,
Yes, no
that is-
aware. Like,
Yeah.
like, okay, I guess
Here's
she's
what
sleeping and
happened.
she's pretty. Why not? Why not? Let me just go kiss her. Right?
Yeah,
So
yeah, that is what
and
happened.
but this is okay because that's a boy and that's a girl and these are cis and they be straight, so I guess it's fine, okay? But if they were just holding hands and they were both boys, or if they just were like just trans and existing, and they didn't, if they were trans and just merely existing in a
Right.
cartoon,
Right.
like not kissing, not holding hands,
No.
just merely existing as characters in a cartoon show, okay?
It's too much.
That would be just too much. But no, non-consensual kissing, okay, if you're straight and cis, but merely existing for children, not okay if you're trans. That's
Right.
the standard that we're having. Yeah.
Right. See, honestly, Armin, it's the last, let's say, 10 to 15 years where people are slowly becoming just the bare minimum of inclusive, right? That's what's destroying society and causing all of these problems with relationships. It's not like the literal century of just garbage advice like that from Snow White. It's not that. That couldn't be it. That would be ridiculous. It's the last 10 years where slowly people have done the bare minimum of saying things like, yeah, I think trans people should be allowed here. Why would we bar them? That seems ridiculous to me. But yeah, that's what's destroying society. So, whatever. I guess.
Yeah. All right, let's go.
Because let's face it, number one, they are the next generation. And number two, they are easily impressionable. And they're the ones that can change. Well, I mean, their parents are going to have to change with this sort of mentality. Otherwise, we saw with Jeffrey Marsh, and they encourage no contact. This has become a thing now. Cutting off ties with your parents. A'udhu billah.
To adults, he was suggesting that to adults.
Yeah.
I went through that all over and over again.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
content that he has for kids and the content that he had for he or they Jeffrey is. See, guys, not transphobic. I just remembered what the actual pronouns are for Jeffrey, and then I just corrected it. So Jeffree Star, right? They have content for kids and they have content for adults.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
And they in the when the no contact for parents was in videos that was not marked as made for kids. In the content that they have made for kids, there was no such thing as no contact. But you cannot fathom the fact that a trans person, because they have content for kids, and they also have content for adults, saying that if you have a toxic parent, maybe you should cut them off, which is pretty good advice.
Yeah, it's
But
very good.
no, you just put those together and you're like, oh, they are going after kids and telling them to cut off their parents. If you are trans and you have transphobic parents, maybe cutting your parents is a good option. I don't know. But the fact that you think cutting, I think they forgot that adults also have parents. They think like, oh, cutting your parents off. Yeah. They're like, they must be talking to kids if they're talking about cutting off your parents. Yeah.
Yeah, you know what? That's funny. When I turned 18,
you stopped having parents.
yeah. Oh, weird. Huh.
Yeah.
Yeah. Gosh,
Yeah.
that would be dumb. Again, that would be really dumb if somebody went through the time that it would take to make like an edited video or something and just not do that basic level of looking. Yeah, that would be embarrassing for that person, whoever they might be.
Oh my god, we got a super chat from Gasian American, and I can't read these things.
Right.
I'm gonna try.
Got it.
My ancestor Yang Jun Long and the god Hu Tian Bao are gay as F. To be gay is part of my religion. There are also lesbian gods. Oh my god, I don't know why I like the idea of lesbian gods. Introduce me to lesbian guys, please. I want to see who would. Yeah.
By the way, folks, did you know our blasphemous art project is going quite strong?
Oh,
So.
yeah. yes. Can we get that, Susie? Can we find these lesbian gods and make art
The most recent one was like Freya and it was Norse chicks. Hang on.
Freya was lesbian?
Freya, I don't know if like in the actual mythology or anything. I'm just going based on the sexy picture.
Oh yeah, based on a blasphemous
Freya
art.
and Gefjon? Gefjon? I don't know.
Okay.
It's hot.
Hot. It's hot. All right, let's go.
The sort of things that are being normalized. In fact, anybody who speaks against it is regarded as a transphobe. J.K. Rowling, yeah, she's speaking up for women's rights because the LGBT do encroach on women's rights as well. She's been regarded as a transphobe. She has this game that
just that stupid. The LGBT do encroach on women's rights. How? Where? Did you must know when saying that again, because it's so easy to find these statistics. You must know that the majority of people who support the LGBT communities and the individuals, okay, are by far women. Every single time we do a poll, the majority of people who mark down self-identified cis het woman, that is one of the largest pro LGBTQ groups out there. Like, so please explain to me how all of these women and their rights are just being stripped from them as we give gay people rights. Oh my gosh, please tell me why then they are in such support.
I mean, I'm sure you could go find some really crazy radical trans people, pro-trans activists. Who, yeah, just like you could find any radical crazy groups of people among any other group. Yeah, and I'm sure you could find those trans people that are saying things that are not helpful to women's rights. I'm sure you could find that. I'm sure a small percentage of any group of people will give you countless of examples for you to highlight, right?
Absolutely.
But as a whole, the trans rights movement and trans people are not like that. And it's rich again coming from some people like that have a religion that is against women, have an entirety of a religion that says women are half as men. Women
it would be a shame.
It's just their rights, their inheritance, their testimony is worth half as man, and that their brains work half as efficiently as men. This entire religion, and then you come out and like, oh my god, women's rights activists, and also you're pixelating J.K. Rowling,
right again.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Women's rights. Yeah. You're a champion of them. Yeah. Sure.
Yeah.
that came out on PH on women's rights as well. She's been regarded as a transphobe. She has this game that came out on PS5. People were saying whoever plays it, well, some people were saying whoever plays it is a transphobe. Why? Because she's involved. And now even with
he's at least able to catch himself enough there.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So, you got it. I'm so proud of him. Actually, he said strange. I was like, okay, you know who called out all the progressives that came out and said like, oh, if you play this game, you're a transphobe? A lot of people from the left called it out. Mm-hmm. A lot of people from the people who were ridiculing other people from the left that were going around and calling every single person that is enjoying this game a transphobic were also people from the left, right? Yeah. Also, a lot of trans activists were like, stop it. Just stop. You're not helping. You're not helping. Okay.
So he caught himself there. He caught himself there.
He's like, stop people. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So you have the potential. Okay.
I know.
Some people think
it almost makes the rest of the stuff he's saying look a bit more dishonest, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Well, we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah.
You know?
As this game that came out on PS5, people were saying whoever plays it. Well, some people were saying
some people. Okay. Some people.
Whoever plays it is a transphobe. Why? Because she's involved. And now even with the TV series, there is a concerted effort to make sure that she is not involved. So this LGBT
I mean, I would like that. I would like that if J.K. Rowling is less involved.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
I mean, I
Yeah.
just there's no problem there. There's just genuinely
Yeah.
no problem there. He's like you see
I mean,
all of these people freaking out because they want to sweep up the dirt that was tracked in, and it's like, oh wait, what are you upset about? What are you upset about again? You're upset about people trying to clean up the kitchen? That doesn't seem very problematic, man. This seems like a pretty
yeah, I mean,
mundane
any
thing.
brand. Yeah, I mean, any brand having this controversial thing being constantly associated with it's
Of
not
course
good
they're
for. It's not good for.
Yeah,
it's
they're
it's
gonna
not good for
care about
branding.
that. Yeah, they're gonna pay
Yeah.
attention to that. They're gonna want to, and it's not as if like J.K. Rowling is canceled in any way. She's still gonna make
Yeah.
buku bucks off of the royalties for it.
Oh, poor
Like,
J.K. Rowling.
oh,
Yeah, like she has like
no.
one of the loudest voices out there. No.
She's so
Yeah.
like oppressed, and her rights are being stripped as the most wealthy British woman in the entire freaking world. Like, oh no, what a shame.
Yeah. I mean, I say things and people are mean to me because I said it. Like, oh, where's my?
Yeah.
I'm being.
I'll be
where's my
honest,
free speech?
for the bank account that she's got, if I could make this deal, Armin, I mean, I'd take some of that oppression that she's feeling.
Yes. Oh
It's
my
a
God.
bummer.
Yeah.
I'm sure she's
Yeah.
really having a hard time in her few $1 million home.
I mean, can you be that famous and say anything that wouldn't get people
No, of course not.
attacking
course
you?
not.
You could
No,
be
no, no,
saying
of
that.
course.
You could be saying that. You could be
Yeah.
saying like, "Hey, I came out today." Like, if you have millions of followers, you could come out and say like, "Oh my God, what a beautiful day." People will attack
Just have
you.
people,
They're like,
yeah.
how dare you? Do you know people
Yeah,
are
yeah.
suffering? Do you know where I am is actually very.
That's literally that is exactly what people would say. I mean, genuinely, that is what people would say. But yeah, like when you go out of your way to post tweet after tweet after tweet where all you're doing is just attacking somebody for being trans, then yeah, I mean, I think it's reasonable that people push back on that and call your comments transphobic. I'm sorry, but that's just how words work, I guess. It's like, when you say things that are anti-trans for no other reason than just the fact that the people are trans, that just fits the criteria of transphobic. It's like, you did that.
I mean, what they do is what I could do with any group of people, right? Like they go and find the most ridiculous, insane people within a community and shine a light on them, and then they talk about it as if this is the average person in that community, right?
Absolutely.
And if you know, I was telling you before the show, I could do this with like randomly thought about Japanese people. There are enough Japanese people that are doing horrible stuff, and I could just go and get videos of every single one of them and then put them back to back to you. And by the end of it, you're going to be, I could make it so that you hate Japanese people. I could do that with white people. I could do that with black people. I mean, people do that with black people, right? All the time, like on Twitter, right? These days, you know, they go and find the weirdest examples. But you could do that with any community. Right, and create a dishonest picture of what is average. But and that's why I think like, and that's why people think like, oh, we're being dishonest about when J.K. Rowling is saying something. When we say that this is not true, they think like we're being dishonest because like they can find literal examples of what she's saying and they are true. You know what I mean?
Right.
But that's the problem. Those are examples. They are painting a picture as if that's normal within that community.
Exactly. And that's not fair. You do need to look at the entire picture. If you're trying to be honest, that is what should matter to you. And then once you go through that calculation and you go, wow, out of the last 12 tweets that this person posted, 10 of them all say these hateful things, kind of sounds like you're a bigot. Like, yeah, but you don't just get to go, oh, well, she posted this like 4 years ago, and so clearly all of this other stuff is just canceled out. No, that's just not how that works, guys. Like, does she still hold these other views? Yes. Okay, well, then there you go. So she got that one thing right. Like, that's what you get. You get a clap and a fucking cookie. Like,
Yeah.
the rest of your stuff is still transphobic. Like,
Yeah.
BT lobby. In fact, Chris Tyson himself. Look, allegedly he posted this before a shooting took place, of Christians by a LGBT individual. But look at the language.
I know what he's talking about. He's probably not even going to say it, but he's talking about a shooting in my state, and that just pisses me off because that has been used in such a disgusting, disgusting way by assholes like this. Like, don't use a fucking mass shooting of children to push your garbage, disgusting genocide. Okay, that's gross.
Yeah.
Like that's so frustrating. And just I knew exactly when I saw this stuff that was what that shit was going to be turned into. No longer do we care about the 7 underage, 8 children that have just been killed in our city. What we care about is the fact that the person using the semi-automatic rifle was trans. Like, that's the most important issue. But sorry, I'm just frustrated.
Yeah, well, so here's the thing. They might come at you and say, like, well, if he was a Muslim, all of a sudden him being a Muslim would be an issue, right? And I would be like, no, because it would be an issue. It wouldn't be an issue if he had just happened to be a Muslim.
Right.
And
if he
was
says,
doing
I'm doing this because I'm a Muslim, that's a different story.
Yeah, exactly. Like, being trans is not an ideology. Right, there's nothing like, okay, here's a trans book of guide to life, right? And in that book it says, like, by the way, this is a good thing to do. Like, there is nothing. Being trans does not make one person go do these things, right? That person just happened to be trans, right? So if in the same case, if somebody, like, for example, went and did a crime, and they happen to be a Muslim, but the crime had nothing to do with Islam, then yeah, you bringing up them being a Muslim would be bigoted and dishonest and disgusting. You're like, okay, this had nothing to do. But if the guy went Allahu Akbar and I'm going to do these things to infidels, they're like, okay, now mentioning that they're Muslim becomes very relevant.
Right. And you not bringing that up purposefully would be dishonest also, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Like, it cuts both ways, so freaking make it cut both ways. And
Exactly.
if this person who had committed this mass shooting said, hey, I am trans, and because of that, I have been, radicalized by these very particular whatever, that's why I'm doing this action, then yes, us not mentioning that would be dishonest. Funny freaking enough, that isn't the case. That is not even close to the case. And people like this guy, this Smile to Jenna guy, is simply bringing that up just as another point to stoke fear and continue to do every trans person is like this. And yeah, it's just gross. It's just gross because there are children dead. There are children dead. And the thing that this guy thinks is the worst problem in that whole scenario is the fact that a man transitioned to be a woman. That's the worst part.
But now
this guy.
He's relating that event to this tweet. Look at this tweet. So saying, I did also hate seeing the hate for me turn into just general transphobia. So I'm trying to make it known. Make fun of me all you want, but miss with the trans homies and ... Well, ... and then there's a gun emoji, right? So he's trying to connect this tweet to that event.
Right. And it's because he's doing the exact same thing that has occurred in name a group, name a place in history, okay? Because I'll walk you through them, right? So we had in the United States an entire group of people that were constantly demeaned on a daily basis by average random fuckheads. Okay. We had laws put in place that criminalized them for the smallest of things and legalized their killing. And so there was a period of time where black people said, you know what? We need to practice self-defense. We need to promote self-defense in our communities. And funny enough, all of a sudden now black people are aggressive. Now black people are making it unsafe for everybody else. Because this is what a bully does. This is what an asshole does. They come up to you on the playground and they push you. And you go, hey, man, quit that. And they push you again. And you go, hey, man, quit that. And then they keep pushing you until you defend yourself. And then they go, oh, look at the aggression. Look at the look what I didn't do anything. He just hit me. That's what they do because they know that that's a tactic that works. And that's what this guy is saying. Smile to Jenna is pointing out this after most likely Chris experienced direct messages calling for their death. I almost guarantee that because that is every single person in this space that I know. Every single person that is open online about being trans, gay, bisexual, whatever, they have all received direct messages from random people calling for their death. So after months of probably experiencing that, Chris posts this one thing. And Smile to Jenna wants to say, oh, look how angry the trans people are. Look how aggressive they are. They just want to find a reason to attack you. It's just a fucking, you just have to be a prick. You just have to be a prick to do stuff like that.
Yeah. All right, let's go on. Let's see.
He's got a little gun at the end saying, hey, don't mess with the trans gang. This is turning into something really concerning. And also, guys, those that don't...
Again, coming from a group of people who their ideology, like you have found one person that happened to be trans. I mean, look in the mirror, man. Like if we go by this standard, you have no leg to stand on anymore when people come out and point to Islamic terrorist attacks and then paint all of you with the same brush. How are you going to defend yourself against that when you're doing that based on one individual? You have one individual and now you're associating that with the entire trans community. And then what happened now if the next Islamic terrorist attack, and if people come out and say like, oh my God, Muslims, how are you going to respond to that? You're going to look like a hypocrite if you say like, okay, well, those are that Muslims. That doesn't apply to all Muslims. Like, okay, who are you to say that? You just did that with the trans people.
Yep. I'm sure there's a tweet out there from a Muslim that is way worse than what Chris just posted right there. We could absolutely do that. The reason that we're not going to is because we're not dishonest assholes. Like, we're actually trying to understand the situation and not just say, this is how everybody behaves.
His buddy just said that all ex-Muslims need to be executed, and they're proud of that.
And again, that's the difference in sides here, folks. That's the difference in sides. And it's ridiculous that it has to. One case seems like a trend. Yeah. Must be running rampant. Yeah, exactly. Like, just ridiculous.
Don't subscribe to a religion, more specifically Islam, because let's face it. Also, guys, those that don't subscribe to a religion, more specifically Islam, because let's face it, the other religions don't cut it when it comes to this. Yeah, where are you going to stop? Islam.
Oh, they're like we're the ones who are standing for civilization. We're literally saving humanity against trans people.
These other religions aren't bigoted enough. If only they could be more filled with hate.
Yeah, like you want pure grade A transphobia.
Come to Islam.
Christianity doesn't have that. Hinduism doesn't have that. God. Judaism doesn't have that. That grade A transphobia. Islam gets you covered. That's the only place where you get it.
Islam, so practicing the most hate since the 700s. Like, why do you think that's the selling point for you, man? Oh my God,
that's great. Oh my God. That's fantastic.
Islam, we have morality that comes from God. Allah.
Mm.
He tells us do this, don't do that. Okay, it's clear. It's objective. But when you say no, morality is subjective, mate, it's up to you. It's up to what damage it can cause to society. Hey, as long as you don't hurt people. Well, the irony here is that's exactly what you're doing by asking a child to chop. I mean, they make fun of.
Wait, so is it about like, so you're trying to say that your divine command theory is superior to a utilitarianism as a but literally everything you argue, okay, is about consequences. So you might want to pretend that, oh my god, as though you guys are just subjective morality because you are trying to avoid harm rather than just listening to Allah. But you know that that's actually how everything works, because even when you get the cost wrong, at least you are appealing to the cost to society. I mean, look, go watch your video. You know, every single argument that you have is not like, well, Allah said, that's it. Well, Allah said it, so that's it. No. You're trying to convince us that these things are harmful. So you're appealing to the exact same moral structure that we are doing.
Yep.
So stop pretending like this is like not a valid way of looking at morality. That's exactly your framework.
Yeah, I totally agree. That's one of the things that frustrates me to no end, is that a Christian will spend so long trying to talk about how my moral system is just completely bankrupt because all it does is care about the harm to people. And then every single time I ask why I need to believe in God, it's because I'll be tortured in hell if I don't. It is because of the specific harm coming to me. And it's like, okay, so come on. Like, that's ridiculous. That's just ridiculous. Yeah. And if you truly believe that divine command theory is an objective system, you have genuinely no idea what the word objective means. Because divine command theory, the entire point of it is that it is subjective to the specific mind that is the thing doing the commands. That's the whole point. If Allah tomorrow says that drinking out of red cups is haram, well, then there you go. That's it. But there's nothing about red cups inherently in the world that are problematic. It's just that Allah said it. So divine command theory is clearly not an objective moral theory.
No.
But he thinks it is.
Yeah. Yeah, because at the end of the day, you have to come up with the understanding that this divine command theory is good. So you might agree with it and I might not. So even picking this God as a commander, that would be subjective. That would be completely subjective.
Yeah.
Because, and again, also what the God is, once you pick the God and his commands, you guys don't seem to agree on what the command is actually. Like every two of you seem to have three different opinions about what the command is. So that's also subjective. And and at the end of the day, if you ask why we should listen to your God, any argument that you give will be consequentialist, would be based on utility. You cannot avoid, because unless you just say, well, because we have to. Like, there is no way for you to provide an argument that is not comparing benefits and harm at the end of the day.
Yeah. Exactly. And the Muslims are much more about that, honestly, than the Christians or the Jews are. Like, especially with the whole, calculating the points during Ramadan and stuff, the extra bonus points. I mean, that's that's all you care about. That's all you care about. Freaking nuts.
Well, I mean, we're hitting here. You want to read this?
Yeah. Gasian American, $2 saying your prophet couldn't even recite the recipe for paper. Yeah. Take that.
Oh yeah, you're right. That's a good point. All right, so we went 6 minutes, 2 hours, 6 minutes of the video. So we hit the 2 hour mark.
I think
we're I think this is a lot of fun. Do you guys agree? This is a lot of fun. We should do this. If you're a patron, by the way, you could send me videos that you could suggest for us to watch. So on Patreon, make sure you send us suggestions. Susie's saying, I love listening to this while I do my work. Oh, that's good. Okay, good. Yeah. So guys, if you think this is a good direction that we're heading, let us know. and tell us what other suggestions you have. But we're going to take patron suggestions more seriously, so make sure you become a patron. Oh yeah, Susanna is saying I miss reaction content. I do think like there's not that many. This is needed. There's a lot of nonsense being put out there, and there's not that much people responding to it. I think we need to do this more often.
I'm down for it. Honestly, I enjoyed the crap out of this. I was surprised at how quickly it got so ridiculous on his part, you know. But I agree. I think there is a whole space out there, unfortunately, that is not being tackled enough, and the fact that, you know, people like that can just spout their garbage for, you know, all their time without any pushback is wrong. So. I did. I did. Oh my God, I did. I cried so hard. It was so funny. There were so many points that were just we don't ask kids about politics and driving. Oh my God. I will go to bed tonight laughing about that. Like, so good.
All right. Okay. All right, guys. Thank you for being here. Make sure you like and subscribe. We're going to have videos like this almost every week. Make sure you leave a comment. That will help grow our channel. And also, please recommend us to your friends, because we're trying to equip people with how to respond to religious and conservative mumbo jumbo. And I think we're doing a good job here. So let other people know that they need to come and watch our channel so that more people are aware of this thing. Okay, so yeah, that would really help us out. And and check out our blasphemous art. It's free. Link in the description. We email our beautiful, gorgeous, sexy blasphemous art about gods, prophets, and we just make religion look a lot more sexy. So check that out. All right, guys. See you soon. Bye. Mwah.